All right, so in today's video, guys, I'm gonna do a quick update on the front end, your ride height, your brakes. So I've got the car on the ground. As you guys can see, I've lowered the rear, I've lowered the front. The front has to come up though. This has got to come up. I don't have any turning radius like that. So to go over the rear quick, it's got the Funkhauser 1-inch billet lowering blocks in it now. Gives it a wicked stance. I'm just hoping that the diff isn't going to hit the exhaust, and I'm hoping that the tire also doesn't hit the filler neck for the gas tank, because it still has a stock tank in it. So these are the Funkhauser blocks. These are what is in there now. Super trick piece, all billet, don't have to worry about anything cracking. And so yeah, I've just got to make sure that everything fits the way it should now. And then I just got to grab some longer U-bolts and that can go back together. As far as the front, so the front end, as you guys can see, is extremely low. Well, lower than I'd like it to be, so I don't have another fatality when it comes to crushing oil pans. The kit, the front end kit, comes with springs. I don't think I had to specify which springs I needed, but these can't be right. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze this in here somehow. So as you guys can see, I've basically maxed out this shock, this coilover. I have a little bit more room to go, but not enough. I wouldn't want to have it, basically maxed out or topped out to achieve the ride height I want. I don't think that's good for the shock. And probably not good for the spring either, especially over time. So I'm gonna have to look into find the correct stands for the motor mounts, the solid Moroso mounts. So those are actually in there now. The motor's not just sitting wedged on a screwdriver or a ratchet. The headers have tons of space. I was kind of concerned that they'd be a little bit tighter just because of how I had the motor set the first time. I knew it was gonna be offset to one side, but with the motor square in the car, plenty of room, so nothing there to worry about. So these are the Doug's 1 3/4 header with a 3-inch collector, and there's absolutely no problems with fitting them in the front end, which is wicked. Had not seen a Church Boys front end with the fender wells on them yet when I had ordered it, so I was hoping that there wouldn't be any sort of interference issues, but as you guys can see, tons of room on both sides, nothing there to be concerned about. As far as the rad and the intercooler now, so we played around with the air-to-air that I have, and that is not going to be the intercooler that gets used for this car, but just trying to get an eyeball for sizing or spacing. So I think, yeah, as I had said before, I think this rad, I'm going to have to go to a different rad, and it's going to have to kind of get tucked in here and kind of go across like yay. And I'm going to have to do an air-to-air, and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to have to follow like that. That's the only way I'm going to be able to fit an air-to-air in this car. And then I'm going to have to probably fabricate some sort of dam or something that will push air up into the rad and the intercooler. With the way the grill is and then the headlight bezels, this space gets blocked off pretty quick. So I'm gonna have to try to figure something out there as far as making sure that if that's the route I go, that it gets the air that it needs. So anyways, I love how the rear end of this car looks now. It sits the way I think it always should have, but as long as there's no interference with the factory filler neck or the exhaust, we should be good to go on that front. So I've got the Wilwood brakes. As you guys can see, I cleaned this storage locker up. I've got some more room to walk around in here now. For the most part, I've assembled these. These are the Wilwood 11-inch rotors, and it has 4 piston calipers that are in that box over there. So I'll pull those out after. I'm gonna try and throw these on the car quick today. That'd be kind of hopefully a quick project for the day. Managed to bang these wheel seals in without smashing and bending the seal up like I've done previously. So yay to me for that. But yeah, these are a nice piece. I've got way more brake now than I do tire. So yeah, I'm gonna get the car up in the air, pull the wheel off. All right, so 3 hours later, or something like that. So I made a service call to LCR Performance or LCR Racing, and I found out that I screwed up assembling these. So this backing plate that holds the caliper is rubbing or binding up on the actual rotor and hub assembly, and I could not figure out for the life of me why I spaced it out a couple times. Different ways, different theories. Talked to Connor, and he's like, dude, I think you got the rotor on the wrong side of the hub. Sure enough, I flip it so that the rotor is on this side and not the back side. And now everything is absolutely peachy. My cap that wouldn't close all the way or lock all the way is good. My calipers mount perfectly, and everything is coming together. I put the car on the ground quick, and now this side is all jacked up. I don't know why. I don't know if because I had the spindle off and the control arm and I moved everything around, if the shock settled or the coil settled, and now it's high, but now everything is sitting about the height that it needs to. And yeah, so everything is good. I'm gonna put the wheel back on it now that I got the caliper on it. I did check quick just to make sure, for sure, that my 15-inch steel wheels would clear. It's good for 15-inch wheels, but I was concerned with how the barrel of the wheel was, that maybe they'd still touch the caliper. Doesn't look like that's the case. So I'm gonna put the front end or the tire back on, get the car on the ground, see where the ride height is, and we'll go from there. All right, so car's on the ground. Wheel does not rub on the caliper. Let's see if we can get a look-see. It's tight, but it works. As you guys can see now, ride height is way different. So I'm gonna have to take apart the other side to do the other rotor and see if it's gonna do the same thing on the other side, or if I've got something going on now that I don't know what's going on. But the car sits pretty well level now, front and rear. So this is a obtainable ride height that actually, you know, I'd probably want it like this just to try and keep the pan off the ground. And yeah, it gives me lots of room between the fender wells. This fender will come out, give me a lot of room. I want to be able to drive this car. I don't want to be worried about bottoming it out, but as you guys can see, you know, go there, come to the other side. She's mega jacked up now. Whole car's leaning over to one side. So anyways, I think that's gonna kind of cap off this video. Weather's getting shitty again. Apparently it's going back to winter. Thought it was, you know, springtime, but apparently it's not. So that's gonna cap it off. Gonna get the other side done real quick, and then hopefully have an update for you guys, another one shortly. Apparently I just bought a fuel pump for it. I'm going to be switching the fuel system up, and that will also be a much needed upgrade, and that way the car can make the power that I really want it to make. It's on a 10-pound pulley right now, and I have a couple different pulley sizes that I want to try. So it can only get better from here. And yeah, the car unfortunately will not be out this year, or it's not looking good, but I'm looking forward to pushing it outside and seeing where the ride height settles, and we'll go from there. So anyways, guys, appreciate all the support. I've picked up a whole bunch more subs. So I guess that's means I'm doing something right with uploading videos more than once every 3 years. So appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.